This is Pitchdeckasia. In Singapore, Graham Brown and Bas de Lange.
Welcome. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you here.
Yeah.
So, well, you're here in the studio. You're going to talk about your app, your startup.
Yeah, the mobility application called Navipark.
Navipark. We're going to go there, talk all about that. A little bit about you as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's quite interesting because you have an interesting background. I think you might be the youngest startup entrepreneur who was in this studio, in this show.
Wow.
How old are you now?
21.
21?
Yes.
I think that's possibly the youngest, yeah? Got the record.
Ooh.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Because you are here in Singapore. You're not born in Singapore, right?
No.
So you're here, 21 years old, starting a startup, raising funds. Good for you. I think that shows some, well, what is the word we're looking for? I can't say it on air, but you have guts. So thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah.
And
thanks for having me.
Find out a little bit more about your background and why you're here.
Yeah.
And the app itself. So let's start at the top. You, Bas de Lange.
Yeah.
Where did you come from originally?
So originally from Amsterdam, the Netherlands, and then my dad got a job opportunity in Singapore, and it was for us, do we join or not? And I was into it, and we all here.
Well, how old were you when you came here?
17.
Right, so you've been here 4 years.
4 years, yeah.
Okay, and why aren't you doing like what normal 21-year-olds are doing, like, which university? Or
Yeah.
Why aren't you doing that?
Yeah, for me, this was always excited to find out new things, new experiences, and in product or applications, doesn't really matter. So for us, it was here driving in Singapore, very cool experience.
Yeah.
Till you find out that you need to find your parking place.
Right.
And it started all with that.
It's a good sync, right?
Yeah, exactly. And for me, it was, or I go in the advertisement, corporates, or I do something with all that knowledge in the tech startup world.
Okay, so we're going to talk about Navipark, your startup. How long has that been around?
So around 1 year plus that we are doing it seriously.
Okay, so who's we?
Yeah, it's me, myself, then Bert with Body Innovations, then some people that are pretty smart in the parking industry itself for a longer period, so they could learn and teach me a lot of things that I simply didn't know.
Right.
And
but essentially, you're the sole founder.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, that shows a lot of confidence at 21, starting a business and on your own.
Yeah.
I know you have a team of great people around you to support you.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think people will be already interested in the story because it's something different, to the average startup founder that comes in here. I know everybody's special, but, everybody has a different story as well.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about Navipark itself. We've got your pitch deck here. So if we can flash your pitch deck up, maybe we can have a look at some of the slides just to get us started. I want to sort of jump around the pitch deck a little bit, Bas, and, I'm going to start right here in slide 8 so people can understand what it's about. Start with the problem.
Yes.
Right? Start with the problem. What is the problem with parking?
Parking itself.
Is it a Singaporean thing as well first? So help us understand.
Yeah, I think in locations that, for example, 80% of the parking places are off-street, you talk about something that's going to be extra complicated because your destination is there, it's arrived, but still your parking place is not there. So this picture is actually showing that perfectly. You're going towards your destination, but that's not your real destination. Your destination is the closest car park around that destination. So that's what we actually do. We bring that visual from the car parking lot towards the driver, way clearer up front.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Explain that to me a bit more. So
you get to see the availability, the drivability, and also the price range all up front in the application itself.
So I'm driving to central town, Singapore, and you're going to show me a list of available car parks, and you're going to show me where they are.
Yeah.
And I guess the thing is if I'm thinking from my personal experience, when you drive, you kind of find the nearest car park that's available when you're driving, not necessarily the best one.
Yeah.
And it's all sort of done a bit sort of reactionary, isn't it? It's like, oh no, I'm under stress, under pressure here in the traffic. There's a car park. My wife's shouting at me now. It's all quite sort of stressful situation. Yeah. Just go there. Get to that car park, and it's sort of, half a mile away from where you need to be. Yeah, is that the problem you're trying to solve?
Yeah, that's actually the key core that we are trying to solve here. And then on top of that, actually in the shopping mall, things are changing so often, so frequently. So bringing that latest updates in a personal promotion in the app afterwards is going to be an extra value for people that don't come every week to Orchard, for example, is going to be a valuable asset.
Right. So I understand it, and so the viewers understand as well. It's an app which helps people locate and identify, the best car parks, parking lots near where they want to go in town.
Yeah.
But when you've got their details, you're then going to create a channel for those shops, those retailers to market to the drivers, right? Consumers, customers. Okay.
And because they put their personal private details in it, almost like TechCrunch. You put in your favorite things that you're interested in. So you don't get that overall information, but just the things where you're interested in. They are coming in the front of your personal promotion list.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has this been done already?
In the news area, probably yes, but in the parking industry, not.
Right.
Because there it is full focus on just giving you what the parking app should do, the parking lots. But we are going to go further towards that, to put the personal promotions and that kind of stuff in it. Yeah.
Great. Okay, let's have a look at the size of the market that we're dealing with first, Bas.
Yeah.
So people can understand. You've got this slide which you've added to this pitch deck, which is great. Help us understand the market size, first of all, of drivers.
Yeah, in Singapore, it is actually pretty solid, so it won't really move that much.
Yeah.
So it stays like it is right now. And globally, it is pretty big still. And we have a lot of cities around Asia that have actually the same setup as Singapore. Actually, pretty great developed already. A lot of car parks under the ground or upstairs in the shopping mall, difficult to find. So bringing them all together on one platform is going to be something that brings a better value to them.
Yeah. Let's sort of talk about these numbers. For those people who can't actually see them, just listening on audio, you've got data here for drivers in Singapore and data for Southeast Asia as well. So there's just, 600,000 in Singapore, and you've got 328 million in Southeast Asia, and that must be Indonesia most of that. Right? So that's a big chunk of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. Yeah. Okay. What's your sort of knowledge? I know there's a historical connection between, the Netherlands and Indonesia. There's a lot of Dutch in Indonesia as well. Yeah. What's the situation like in Jakarta, for example, now?
Yeah, no, it is really, really tough. It is the traffic is just actually almost too bad for Navipark to easily enter. So we need to figure out how that's going to be an easier way. Singapore, everything is perfect except the parking experience, so that is easily to deal with. So here we are talking more about the infrastructure itself. Booking features are possible to integrate. People are interested in it. The real estates, for example, but then we need to see if the drivers are interested in it, because mostly they have drivers or they have to travel so long. Yeah, booking then is not that value towards them on this point.
Yeah. So who are you targeting then?
So for now, the location is Malaysia and this kind of countries around Asia.
Right, a bit more developed.
Yeah, more
less
developed.
Chaotic.
Exactly.
Traffic,
That value of that couple of extra minutes really adds on to save. And on an hour, that couple of minutes doesn't really make a difference.
And in these markets, what kind of drivers are you targeting? Because you've already mentioned some may have drivers themselves, so they're out.
Yeah.
Who are you targeting in this?
Yeah, we mostly target the drivers. They want to have easily access towards places in that sense. And then also we are focusing for drivers, for example, and the person is in the back, so that we provide them promotion that easily connects with them, with the driver and the passenger itself. So they don't need to text on WhatsApp or all that kind of things anymore. It's just integrated already in the app itself. Yeah.
So do you know much about the profile of these people, or what kind of backgrounds they are, or have you?
For Singapore, are just the drivers. They have a good income, and the profile is that they always go towards Orchard and they want to do something with the family, don't know really yet what to do. So there again, the interest of when you're a family, what kind of nice things for a family is there to do and where to drive to then. Again, that value guidance is something that adds for these people a lot.
Okay, well, we'll look at the solution and the revenue model in a minute. I think it's important to preface this is because I think when you start talking about parking apps, the initial maybe doubt people have is that, oh no, everybody's doing Grab, everybody's doing Uber. Yeah, we don't need this anymore because the future is all in, carpooling and car sharing.
And that's true. That's where it growed from the roots almost. That I was thinking when Grab was coming in 2014 in Singapore really strongly, that I was thinking, wow, we have a car, but almost Grab starts to be more convenient. So you just leave the car keys because you still are hustling to find that car park place and all that things around it. Then finding the car back again, what we has also integrated in the application, is a big thing. So to solve all this makes again driving easier, more pleasurable, and less hustling.
Okay, good. I think here in Singapore, a surprising amount of people choose to drive.
Yeah,
you know, when public transport's amazing.
Actually,
you know,
it is.
It's a cultural thing, isn't it? I mean, for me, I don't drive anywhere, but then I'm not your target market. There is a whole group of people here in Singapore who drive even just to the next stop, right? You know, and that's just culture here, and I don't think that's going to change. So I think, you know, when people look at your solution, that doubt about, okay, fine, but public transport's amazing in some of these cities, there's still this whole culture of driving, and that won't change for like 10, 20 years, right? Okay, let's have a look at the solution, the revenue model. If we can jump back into the pitch deck, the solution, I think if we go back a couple of slides here, now we moved around. Let's talk about, we've done the market size. I want to talk a little bit about the revenue model, which I think is on 13 here. Okay, so this is obviously the solution and the revenue model together.
Yeah.
Help us understand how you're going to make money out of this.
Yeah, so the first thing is that we use the freemium model. So that means you can just find all the car parking places in one row, the availability in it, and then the drivability. That is just for free. But then on top of it, you will see that, for example, in busy days, late in the with peak hours, it's totally full. You need to drive all the way to level 8. You don't want that, and you see all the green lots there. Now, there we call it booking solution. So you can just drive to level 1, you see the green place, and you say, you know what, next time I'm not going to go all the way up, spend the other 6 minutes. I just pay an extra $10 on top of the normal pricing that's already existing there, or 15, depends on the valuation and availability, and then you can just book it up front.
So this is like premium
parking lot, yes, right. At the most. Yeah,
so
perfect
people
place.
Pay extra.
Yeah,
and you do a deal with the real estate owner
with the margin in between that. Yeah, correct. And this is all on AI-based big data, so it will go up and down depending on how busy the day is, or when there is an event, or when it is Christmas time. All these things add up. Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, and then we have the premium parking. This is in collaboration with, for example, a car selling dealership that is interesting to join Navipark for the car, people that buy the car at that place to have an additional value on top of it that they can premium park and not just only park.
So you're saying car dealers can sell a car and as a value add, they can throw in Navipark premium service.
Premium service with premium promotions on top of it.
Right, okay.
Yeah. And then the personal promotions that relates towards the real estates and the shops in the shopping mall, they can promote on our platform to actually personal advertise towards that users that are there. Or when a driver is looking around Orchard, that he in real estate or a shop can promote to lead people inside the shopping mall base just by showing interesting stuff.
Okay. So the challenge here is the partnerships.
Yeah.
So getting the drivers is going to be probably less hard than getting deals with dealers, real estate, commercial, parking lots, etc. So, putting this into context, you're 21 years old. You haven't worked 20 years in, the parking industry.
Yeah,
right?
so that's why we try to get people around that have that 20 years experience and keep learning, keep going out and just tell the story, tell the vision and understand what they are thinking of, what they really want to add on Navipark, and then go back and redefine, remodel it, and pitch it back again. That's how we do it right now.
So where are you targeting now in terms of your partnerships? Where are you going out and
so we have the real estates itself, then we have the car park operators, owners, and then we have just the platform itself, Navipark, that provides all the big data with the parking places in front, the free one. So this is the 3-in-1s that we have. For the car park operators, owners, we are now talking with a couple, and it's going to be pretty interesting to see what they actually really want to add on. And bring it towards, and actually we are bringing a service. So for some guys it should be a bit different than for real estate, for example. And we want to be that flexible.
And how are you talking to those partners in Singapore or all over Southeast
right now
Asia?
in Singapore. Yeah, right now in Singapore.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so right now you're just focusing on Singapore with these partnerships.
Yeah.
Okay, so I imagine it's quite hard with talking to parking lot operators because they make a lot of money with or without these services.
Yep.
And I always wonder, I mean, do they really care about service? Do they really care about customer satisfaction? Because whether or not people are satisfied, they have to use the parking lot, right? So with that in mind, maybe you can prove me wrong. How do you go out and sell to them this idea of adding a value-added service to their offering?
Yeah, so now it is more like we have the car park operators. Mostly they are off the street, on the street itself still, like one of the guys that we talk with, and they want to find solutions to be connected with the real estate and the shopping malls and the shops around it.
Right.
So they are looking for
that. Shopping mall.
Yeah, these guys are not in it, so they want to make a connection with them to promote, so that they still park at their place and that they then walk over.
So you're talking about this would be most relevant to parking operators who aren't attached to a shopping mall, but maybe slight, one block back or less known or.
Yeah, for example, yes. But also the real estates that with the shops that just want to bring more leads towards the shopping mall and shops. Yeah, because you can just promote it and guide them towards it. And now they have a choice of Ion, Wismart, and then Takashimaya. And now with the platform that you can put interesting things together, you can lead more people towards one or another. So it's that extra personal kind of touch that previously wasn't there. They couldn't reach their drivers. They were just unknown until they stepped in the mall, and now they can already actually present themselves in front beforehand.
Yeah. Okay. With the parking operators who, for example, aren't attached to the mall, so they're a block back. They're not the first choice, but they're really keen to get people into their parking lot. Maybe they're closer to the mall than a more known parking lot, right? So they're a challenger lot, if you like. How do you sell it to them? What's the real benefits to them? How can you see those benefits? What's the tangible benefit?
The benefit for them is that they have a bigger reach on this moment. Right now, it is just passing, and then you need to be lucky that you see that place. And now you are in the platform itself. So suddenly you have all the users in that, seeing that place with the price. And mostly their advantage is they're cheaper. So putting that on the list and the possibility to see that, you can select your personal interest. So when you want to find all the time the cheapest ones, they keep going up that otherwise wouldn't be there.
How do they market now? How do these parking lots advertise themselves?
Yeah, mostly on little barriers itself, and that's mostly it. So not that much. Or they have like on Google, what you mostly see is they have just that big old data and little dots, and that's how they try to market them. But it's far away from the driver itself, of course. Yeah.
So are any of these parking lots actually quite progressive in their marketing? Do they? None? No,
actually, really not so much. One guy that, company that we're talking now with, they really want it, so they're really looking to interesting collaborations, and that's why they're pretty strongly interested in Navipark than the other ones that are more just old school, I would say.
Yeah. With regards to those dealers as well, you talked about car dealers. How would you sell it to somebody like that? I mean, I can see the benefit to the customer if they can get this thrown in. It might help close a deal. What's the benefit to a dealer?
The dealer benefit is that now they can choose so many different places to buy the same car. So when this dealer has this collaboration, for example, with Navipark, then it is an extra value to the user. So easier for them to make this sales going through, but as well for them to show that we are more than this car park is not really this sales place is not really a normal sales place. It's really premium kind of style, and they want to differentiate that journey continues when the driver drives off.
Okay. So do we have such a thing as premium car parks?
Yeah. We have that dealerships, premium dealerships.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wondered. I mean, I don't know the car park world, but do those things exist?
Yeah, you have them for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Again, these places are just very normal. Just a couple of lots there, and you need to sign up, and then you have only that place. Then you need to sign up with all the other car parks. Do you want to have that experience?
Okay, interesting. All right. Okay, so we've had a look at the market, the problem, and the solution. Touching on the revenue model here, we can jump back into the pitch deck. I want to have a look at this. You talk about your revenue models here. So I understand you're offering a freemium model first, and then you will charge. How will you charge the parking operators? Is that going to be a revenue split, or are they going to white label your service? How does that work?
Yeah, there's going to be a revenue split because it keeps changing depending on how many people are coming in, of course. And you can upsize it really easily because it is a whole wireless system that we integrate. So actually the majority of the normal pricing is already for them. Everything that comes on top of it with the booking is for them, and then we have our margin out of that.
Right, you just charge them a fee on every booking.
Yes, on every booking, yes.
And do they have to pay like an installation fee to you, or?
Yeah, one-time installation fee, but just a partly one, not the full one.
Okay, fine. And how have you sort of progressed? I know you're an early stage startup in terms of your testing and actually, going out there and doing this. Tell me a little bit about where you are. You've got a journey slide in here as well. We'll look at that in a minute. But, in terms of, is the app live? Have you actually tested it? And so on.
Yeah, so we have a kind of MVP stage for ourselves internally. So that means that we have tested the whole booking experience with the hardware, with the software, and we've done that in the Netherlands. So with around 3-4 different car parks, around 500 lots. And to understand how that whole behavior is going and how the experience is going around that, from booking it, going to the location, securing it, that whole process. So we have learned a lot from that. We can easily just copy-paste this in Singapore market. And for finding, and the big data part was also a big challenge. And we have learned as well a lot out of that to integrate it all in the platform and letting that run smoothly. And that we can just upgrade it along the way when we create more partnerships. So
you've done tests with 500 lots in the Netherlands?
Yes, correct.
And what did you learn from that?
Yeah, from that, the first thing that we learned is like real experience, how that should work, because that sensor is there, the app is there, but how that real journey as a driver should be to make that booking experience an extra value. That was a really valuable thing to learn from that. Yeah. Because just getting all the, let's say, hard data on point, that it works, that it is all ticked, that is easy. But then to make that experience that, when I give $10 and I book that parking lot, how that guides me, how that supports me, how I can find my car back, that kind of things make that difference.
Yeah, and how did you actually do those tests? Did you do those yourselves?
With the development team. Yeah. And then I was the designer with the UX UI to make sure that the whole experience in that application department went well.
Yeah, and what sort of insights did you get from the driver's side in terms of experience, actually having felt that themselves? What did you learn?
Yeah, we learned that the first thing is that just only providing that you can book is not enough. You need to make that whole journey there. So that's what we learned, to make the journey towards that also premium, excited, I would say. That's something that was the most important to add on. Not just saying you can book and you can find it there. You have one past it, so we hope that you'll find it again. That's not how it works.
Right. So that's in the app, in the car?
Yeah, in the car.
So what sort of features?
Inside mapping, so it maps you till the parking lot. Yeah. And then when you go back, you can find your car back, and you have a nice list that shows even the color. So when you park on level 8 blue, it shows the whole interface turns blue. And then when that's not enough with your information, for example, you can press directory, and then it directs you with arrow navigation towards your car back again.
Right.
Yeah, for example, Takashimaya or MBS, these places are going to be a bit challenging when you have easily parked and you go rush for your lunch, and then you think, where did I park it again? Yeah. So this kind of features we like to add in, starts with the premium booking and then towards the rest.
So I think there are two pain points as a driver and user of car parks occasionally. That one, I think you mentioned these, so I'm interested to know how these actually work. First one is finding the pay station. It's not easy in a car park. Often it's like, it's up on the next level, and you have to ask somebody who's got like the yellow jacket on, and they don't know where. It's like go down there and you get lost. So that's a problem for a user. And the second, you said finding the car.
Yeah.
I have a real problem finding cars, and I wonder if it's my short-term memory or I'm getting old. But I think people do. It's like you when you walk into a car park, your mindset is different. Yeah. You're not sort of like locating and like registering like where you are in very sort of scientific terms. You just I'm late. I've got to get there.
And that's the thing. You need to put your mind to it to know where you park. Then mostly it goes fine. But mostly when you park, you have or a meeting. Or you're hungry, so you just walk off, and that speed, that excitement, totally forgets you where you parked.
Right,
and when you park mostly at the same place, you park on different things, so you're going to confuse with the last time you parked, and then it's going to be. So it is not when you park more times that it will get less, and sometimes it even get worse because you're going to mix it up.
So how do you deal with that? I know you say you help them locate the car.
Yeah.
I mean, in the old days, the way I used to deal with that is I just take a photo. Of like I'm in E24, for example, and I'll take a photo of that.
Yeah.
But it didn't always work. I forget to take a photo. How do you guys help?
So actually, that is what we put in. This information, you don't need to make a picture. When you park, we put that information inside the design of the application, the feature, find your car back. And the color is integrated in it. The roadmap is integrated in it to just find your car back when you want it. And when you don't need it, you don't even need to open it up.
Yeah. That alone is worth using the app. Just that feature alone, just to be able to find your car.
Yeah, exactly.
I know, it sounds crazy, but it's a real problem that people have, right?
Yeah,
and there's nothing worse than walking around an hour in a parking lot trying to find a car.
I can tell you it is hot outside in Singapore, but inside the car park is even way hotter.
Exactly. All right, well, good to know. All right, we've talked about the journey. You do have a slide here in the pitch deck. Maybe we can have a look at that, jump back in on slide 19. But where you are with the journey, you talked about your achievements. I want to come to that in a minute, and your key partners.
Yeah.
Maybe we can start there and then talk about the journey, because this is sort of key to the initial stages. So you've talked about developing a functional model of the app. Tell us a little bit about the partnerships, because this is really key to obviously the success.
Yeah, and here it gets also very excited, because these key partners that we are having, they understand also that the market that they want to reach globally is at so many different locations different. So they cannot just enter with this parking detection, but they have this company everywhere. It needs the application has to be evolved and specially developed for a certain region.
Could you explain some people can't see this, they're listening.
So parking detection is just a very advanced smart camera. So it's almost a kind of like the iPhone X, the face recognition, but this technology is used for the recognition of the car, the number plate, the duration, how long it stays there, if it parks wrongly. So all this data we capture for the booking solution technology. So let's say we only need 2 cameras to capture a space wide of around 6 to 12 lots with just 2 cameras to manage the booking solution. So the old way to do it is with all kinds of sensors on the ground, one by one by one. There's no need anymore. We have just 2 cameras to reach that whole angle for the booking experience. And then we have Talon One. This is a company that is full focused on a personal advertisement platform, but for underground, the platform that is in front of it, Navipark in that case.
Underground means what?
Yeah, on the back end. So it supports everything. We can play around with it, set everything up, and then run that on top of it.
So that would integrate into the merchants in the retail space.
Yeah. And then we have Body Innovations. So they are partnerships and investments. They are supporting on that. And the team is really valuable to us.
So they're your venture builder almost, right? Partner. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's your partnerships. We're going to talk about the team as well. And also how much you're raising. So maybe if we can jump back into the pitch deck and we have a look at the team. So tell me who's who. Obviously, Bas de Lange, we know you. Who are the other 3?
Yeah, so Mark is where I talked about. He has 25 years experience in smart parking solutions. in sensor technologies, and now we bring it to a next level towards the smart camera solutions that just capture all the cars and the drivability, how they park, and then the duration, and then we develop the whole booking experience on top of that. And then we have Conrad is the advisor of Navipark. So yeah, that's my father. He has a lot of great support and looks towards opportunities for Navipark as well. So
what's his background?
His background is in actually advisory from a long time already, but his background is in cable management and fire protection in that direction.
Facilities and so on. Okay, right.
And then Bert from Body Innovations. So he's really focused for me as a mentor and accelerator of Navipark, and really support with all different valuable angles and assets.
So from here on in, I'm going to ask you how much you're raising in a minute, but the team itself, are there skills that you need to bring in now?
Yeah, I think we are looking for a stable development team. So we have different ones for building the MVP, but now we're looking for a good development team here in Singapore to make that next valuable step.
What kind of development?
Yeah, for the real actual platform, to a real valuable MVP where a lot of users can start to use it.
Okay. Would you have those people here in Singapore?
Yeah, probably.
It's an expensive place to get developers.
But for me, it is important that they understand the real situation in Singapore, what ERP is about, how that works, and they need to see this the place where we develop around. So I think that will be an extra value that I like to integrate in.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you need to take your developers to the car park and actually have a look at it and drive in and experience it themselves, right? Yeah. That's so important rather than sitting behind a screen trying to do this. Because then they get insights about, okay, why am I trying to fix this problem? Yeah. If they actually see it and feel it themselves, that's really powerful.
Yeah, so there's why I'm looking for that.
Okay. And long term, we've mentioned Malaysia as an example. Singapore is obviously your base. Yeah. What is the potential market for this? Where could this go?
This could go to whole APAC, I believe so, easily. And then even towards cities beyond it. I think Europe will be a bit difficult because it is, again, 80% on the street and 20% off street. So we really have to model it towards that personal promotion, bringing shops together, a smart parking solution that brings really the person with value. I think then we can go towards Europe as well. Okay. But for now, it's really APAC focused.
And we're in Asia, particularly. You mentioned Malaysia.
Yeah, Malaysia. Then we also look to Australia as an opportunity, and then that's it for now on this moment. Yeah.
Good. Right. So you're fundraising at the moment. Tell us a little bit about the fundraise. How much are you raising?
Yeah, at the moment $300,000 USD. Yes.
And what are you raising that for?
We develop for development strongly, and then also for the whole marketing package around it as well. Yeah.
Okay. And how long is it going to take you to develop the app? When can you be live? When can you actually have consumers in the wild using your app out there?
Yeah, that is all depending as well with the partnerships where we are running with, but purely on development, around 3 months plus, 4 months. That is the duration that we need to take in mind for the development process.
Okay. So you think you can have an app launched in 4 months?
Yeah, if everything is in place around it, then we can definitely
a lot can happen, but obviously I'm asking you some tough questions to predict, right?
Yes,
but 4 months you have an app out on the App Store. Okay. All right, cool. Good. Excellent. And so obviously investors watch this. Obviously, people who may want to join your team watch this. The other part is your partnerships. Yeah. So there may be people who may be one step away from those people you're trying to reach as partners. Your partners may not be watching this, but somebody who works for them or consults for them or whoever it may be. Who do you want to talk to in terms of partnerships? Who would be the people you would like to reach out to you and say, hey, we'd like to trial your technology, Bas?
Yeah, I think it is smart city, very interesting. On top of even what we talked about, real estates and the parking operators, it's a whole smart city kind of thing. You reduce all that looking around on that slow lanes, just looking for the parking place. No, that is all going to be simple, pushed away by bringing all that information already up front, so people know in the journey when they come close to the destination already where they're going to park, because the app brings you towards that lot. So that is going to be having a big impact as well. Just all that searching around is going to be reduced.
Right.
Yeah.
So anybody in the smart city space you'd be interested to talk to?
Yeah.
Because they may have connections.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Thanks for coming on the show today and sharing your journey with us.
Yeah.
Wishing you all the best in the journey of Navipark. Next steps. I think that you have a big challenge ahead of you.
Yeah.
But I sense as a person, probably you enjoy that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
You know, you're dealing with a very big market and some quite challenging partnerships to pull off. But I think as well, it's worth saying that, you know, you have, I think, the skill that is more the exception rather than rule in founders, which is the hustle. You know, and how important that is. You know, you might not be the most technical person. You can hire a technical person, but what you can't, you know, train is the hustle. Is getting out there, talking to people, knocking on doors. That's what's going to be required here. So even though you don't have 20 years of experience, you're surrounded by people who do have experience. You have that hustle. You have that energy to go out and potentially make this happen, right? So, yeah, all the best. I mean, Bas is going to be there on the 20th.
Yes.
Joining us in our event. So
looking forward for that.
Yeah, exactly. You know, if you've listened to his story, then, you know, feel free to reach out, ask any questions you may have. And if you know any introductions, then please feel free to make them. What is the best way to reach out to you? What's the most preferred channel? LinkedIn?
Yeah, LinkedIn is where I'm the most active in. And,
all right. We'll put all your details in the show notes.
Awesome.
Bas de Lange, everybody, founder and CEO of Navipark. Wishing you all the best with your journey. And yeah, please come back on in future and share an update as well. That would be awesome. 6 months, 12 months, when you're live in the market, when you've got some data as well, it'd be great.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me here. And we will see each other again, hopefully.
Excellent.
Cool.
Great.
Thank you.
Good.